My key takeaways from Brandon Sanderson's lecture class, part 2. Last time I talked about promise, progress, and payoff and how to incorporate some of that into your story. The next question that comes to my mind when I think about promise and payoff is plot twists. How are you supposed to keep your reader invested in something if you're not actually going to give them the payoff they're expecting to? This happens all the time in stories and can be somebody's favorite part of a book, but only if it's done well. So let's talk about this really fast. The whole point of a promise is to set up your reader's expectations for a book. And if you meet or exceed their expectations, they'll be satisfied with the book. And if you don't, then they won't be satisfied with the book. So plot twists, or inverting a promise or whatever payoff you have involved with that promise, is a careful skill that can work to your advantage if you do it well. In Brandon Sanderson's class, he talks about one of the best ways to have a plot twist that is still satisfying is to exceed your reader's expectation. One of the examples that Sanderson uses in his class is a young boy who wants to get a toy train for Christmas, and his parents tell him, "We'll give you that train for Christmas." And all year, he's excited about getting this train for Christmas. That's the promise, those are the expectations. However, earlier in the year, his brother has a birthday, and they give him a toy helicopter for his birthday. And then the younger brother gets to see his older brother playing with this toy helicopter all year leading up to Christmas. And the young boy is like, "Man, I should have asked for a helicopter instead of asking for a train. Helicopters are so much cooler than trains," all that kind of stuff. And we get to Christmas and he gets there expecting to receive his toy train, and then bam, they ended up getting him a helicopter anyway. That's a plot twist. We exceeded the expectations. We gave the reader a promise of something else that that boy wanted, and then we delivered on that even though we gave the promise of something else. So that's a classic version of exceeding expectations for a plot twist. Another example of that is over-delivering on your promise. So the boy wanted a toy train all year, and you get to Christmas and turns out we actually bought him a life-size train. Right, so that's another plot twist. We over-delivered on our promise. Those are classic examples of positive plot twists, where you either exceed the expectations you gave to the readers or you over-deliver on whatever promise you had. Things get a little bit more complicated if you want to have a negative plot twist. If a character gets betrayed, or a belief a character has turns out to be untrue, or something they're trying to do fails. These things obviously need to happen in stories. You just need to be careful with how you set up the promises for those payoffs that aren't actually going to happen, right? Because you don't want to leave your readers unsatisfied. Side note, if you do want to leave your readers unsatisfied for some reason, you are welcome to do that as an author. It's just dangerous and you have to do it well in order for them to still like the book. Obviously, there are some plot twists where this happens, where you're expecting one thing to happen and then they fail, or the friend betrays them, or something like that happens, and all of the expectations are blown out of the water. That can be done really well, especially if it's a dark moment of the soul part of the story. You'll need to think about the pacing of your story, the goals and themes of it. What is the purpose of reneging on your promise? And make sure that purpose exceeds whatever satisfaction you could have had if you'd fulfilled the promise. Now, if you're not going to deliver a payoff for a promise you made, you want to have a good reason for doing that. Good reasons can include a lot of different stuff: a character learning an important lesson, them getting diverted on their path, not going to where they thought they were going, but going somewhere more important or better, or something along those lines. When you're thinking of reneging on a promise that you gave to your reader, just make sure you have a reason that's important enough either to the character or to the story, preferably for both. And if that reason is important enough, then the readers will forgive you for reneging on that promise that you gave them. So there are some classic examples of plot twists and reneging on promises given to readers in ways that can still work. I know that was kind of vague. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I hope that was helpful. Have fun writing plot twists in your book, and I will see you in my next video.